Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Let's just take a start with IELTS reading. And today we are going to solve one academic reading test together. Those who are academic, again the same thing, solving. Those who are general training, academic reading is good for them, especially if you are stuck at a certain score and your number of correct answers is not increasing. So it's a good idea to solve some academic reading tests and then go back to general training. The type of questions that we have, they are same in academic and general training, so don't worry about that. Let's see, we've got this passage. Could urban engineers learn from dance? Now, there is a question mark. Urban engineers, engineers who are in the city, urban. Could urban engineers learn from dance? So this is the passage, means they will talk about engineering in comparison with dance. Is that clear? After that, what you got to do, just read the first sentence or even half sentence of each paragraph. Look at me now. Just read one sentence like this. You read one sentence but scan all the paragraph. You read one sentence but scan all the paragraph. When you scan, your pencil will work quickly and you will underline any proper noun, any name that starts with a capital letter, any process, any name of scientist, any date or anything like that. Now if you come to first paragraph, please, paragraph A. The way we travel around cities has a major impact on whether they are sustainable. And then underline 30% is given here. Can you see that? After that, you can go on and see there are some more words. So just a quick look and underline some of the words. And don't underline everything. Don't underline sentences. Only underline the words. If you underline everything, at the end you will be in a difficulty. You don't know how to find what you underline. In the same way, you will go on with paragraph B, C, D, E, F and G. By the way, we are solving this academic reading test from Cambridge IELTS book number 15. Okay, academic, Cambridge IELTS book number 15. And this is actually the second test of that, right? So now we go to the questions. And it's a very good idea to take a look at all the questions with that passage and then decide from which question type I'm going to start. It's not necessary that you have to follow the same order. Like questions 1 to 6, they have which paragraph contains the following. Questions 7 to 13, we have short answer question, completion type of questions, sorry, not short answer. So you can start from 7 to 13 if you want to, because completion questions are always easier. Right? For which paragraph contains the following, you have to go through all the passage. But we will start with which paragraph contains the following information. Look here. The first thing you need to do, first of all, now there are three key reading skills. One is skimming. Skimming means to read very, very quickly, just for the overall understanding. When you skim, you don't read every word. You just read few lines from the beginning, a couple of lines in the middle, or you read something quickly. Like, you know, on a busy morning, when you are getting late for your office or university and there is the newspaper at your doorstep, you will pick up the newspaper and within 1 to 2 minutes, you will skim read the newspaper. When you skim read, you don't read the details. You only read the highlights and all that. That is what we call skimming. Then there is another important type of reading which will help you with time management. Those of you who say we cannot manage the time, they don't read, they don't use this technique properly. That is what we call scanning. Now what is scanning? You read the sentence and then you scan for specific words, phrases, ideas. That's what we call scanning. So after skimming, scanning is equally important. And once through scanning or through skimming, you reach the point where there is the answer, then we read carefully. Then we are not going to skim or scan. Then we will read every word very, very carefully, read the question carefully, and then we'll be able to find the answer. Coming back to the question type, which paragraph contains the following information? It's a very good idea to skim read. Now you got to see one thing. If there are only 3 questions, which paragraph contains the following information? If there are only 3 questions and the passage has 6 or 7 paragraphs, then it's a good idea to do it through scanning. Now, what is through scanning? Read the question, find the clue word, go to the passage, scan that word, and then see where the answer is. But if the questions are 6, like over here, you can see there are 6 questions. And how many paragraphs do we have? No. 7 paragraphs. So 7 paragraphs and we've got 6 questions. 1 paragraph will be empty, or there can be 2 answers in 1 paragraph as well. So we need to keep that in mind. Now let's come to paragraph A. Again, whenever they've got which paragraph contains the following information, for this always remember the sentences which are given in the question, exactly there will be information related to that. Means you will have to match a sentence with the sentence in the passage. Only the words will be changed, they will use synonyms and all that, okay. At this point, we have not read the questions. Now, let's just skim through this passage and then we go to the questions and we see how to find the answers. Everyone please come to paragraph A. Paragraph A. The way we travel around cities has a major impact on whether they are sustainable. Right? Now, let's just skim through it. Transportation is estimated to account for 30% of energy consumption, blah, blah, blah. Now, immediately come to the next sentence after full stop. Can you see that? But as more and more people, found it? Yeah, please follow me from here. But as more and more people move to cities, it is important to think about other kinds of sustainable travel too. The ways we travel affect our physical and mental health, our social lives. Now this thing, and in the beginning they said the way we travel around cities has a major impact. Keep these things in mind, and now we go to questions and we see if there is any match. And look here, for paragraph A, usually focus the last options. For first paragraph, usually they use the last 2-3 questions. It's not that paragraph A, question number 1. For paragraph A, usually it can be question number 6. For last paragraph, it can be question number 1. Anyways, let's go through the questions. Question number 1, reference to an, now listen. Now when you read the questions, read them very carefully because you have to do the other paragraphs also. Don't casually read them carefully. This is the part of your other questions search for answer. Question 1, reference to an appealing way of using dance that the writer is not proposing. Means appealing way of using dance and writer is not proposing means writer is not in favor of that. Underline that. Because there is going to be another paragraph. Isne kahin na kahin to lagna hai na. So you got to read it carefully. Question number 2. Example of a contrast between past and present approaches to building. Past and present. Past tense and present tense, and then contrast. Question number 3, mention of an objective of both dance and engineering. Mention of an objective of dance and objective of engineering. They will tell us the main objective of dance is, as at the same time the main objective of engineering is, and all that. Question number 4, reference to an unforeseen problem arising from ignoring the climate. Unforeseen problem, they did not expect that. Climate, for climate, they can call it sunny day, weather, or anything related to the weather or climate, it's just like that. Question number 5, why some measures intended to help people are being reversed. So why some measures intended to help people are being reversed, means these measures are coming back. And last, question number 6, reference to how transport has an impact on human lives. See that? I told you question number 6, paragraph A. But this is not going to be true all the time, okay? Then you say, sir, you misguided me. But it's usually like that. So for question number 6, the answer is A. Exactly. Very good. Now, listen. We go on to paragraph B. And we do this together as well. Paragraph B. And by the way, usually whenever they give you which paragraph contains the following information, 3 points are important. Either it can be the first sentence or somewhere in the middle, or it can be the last one. Anyways, now we've got questions in mind. Dance might hold some of the answers. That is not to suggest everyone should dance their way to work. However, now that is not suggest that everyone should dance their way to work. However healthy and happy it might make us, but rather that the techniques used for by choreographers to experiment with and design movement in dance could provide engineers with tools and all that. Now go back and see if there is any question that matches with that. Question number 3 is mention of an objective for both dance and engineering. No. No. 1. Reference to an appealing way of using dance that the writer is not proposing. Now, what is appealing way? Appealing way is that not to suggest everyone should dance their way to work. Right? So, this is appealing way, but he says that is not to suggest. Writer is actually not suggesting, or he is not proposing. So, for question number 1, the right answer is B. Now, listen up. We are done with question number 1 and question number 6. Now, you will not read them again. So, that is why it's a good idea when you are done with question number 1, where 1 is written, just color it or cross it. Cross it so that it doesn't come in your way. And question number 6 also you need to cross it. Now, you are left with 2, 3, 4 and 5. So, you will just go through these options. Is that clear? Okay, now we go on to paragraph C. Let's read this together as well. Whereas medieval builders improvised and adapted construction through their intimate knowledge of materials and personal experience of the conditions on a site, building designs are now conceived and stored in media technologies that detach the design from the physical and social realities they are creating. Now go back and see where will it match, where will it go. Why 2? There is a reason, there is a reason. Medieval builders improvised, past tense. Okay, improvised and adapted, past tense. And then they say materials and personal experience and all that. Then they say building designs are now conceived. Now conceived means present tense. So past and present. So option number 2 is example of a contrast between past and present approaches to building. Is that clear? Now you are supposed to cross this question number 2 as well. Now we are left with 3, 4 and 5. Okay, now let's come to D. D for doctor. To illustrate a Senate discussion, the Peachtree Center in Atlanta, blah, 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 and you can go on. Where you see there is some explanation, because you know usually these headings or which paragraph contains the following information, that information is sometimes conclusion of a discussion or it's the topic of discussion. So if there is some explanation, you can just look through it. Let's move on. 1970s Peachtree created a grid, and let's move on to 4th line please. To Senate, this failed because its design had invested too much faith in computer-aided design to tell them how it would operate. They failed to take into account that purpose-built street cafes, be careful, purpose-built street cafes could not operate in the hot sun. Does it ring a bell? In the hot sun without the protective awnings common in and all that. So hot sun, it goes with heading number 4, reference to an unforeseen problem arising from ignoring the climate. And climate means hot sun. Clear? So you are going to cross number 4 as well. Then you are left with 3 and 5. Okay, now please come to paragraph E. Okay, The same is true in transport engineering, which uses model to predict and shape the way people move through the city. Right, we move on. Again, these models are necessary, but they are built on specific worldviews. Let's move on to next line, line number 4. And other experiences, because I'm reading it loudly, when you skim it with a pencil, your speed will be faster. When you skim without a pencil, your speed will be slow. But when you skim with a pencil, you move the pencil, your eyes will follow the pencil and your speed is going to be faster. So, 4th line. And other experiences of the city ignored. Designs that seem logical in models appear counterintuitive in the actual experience of their users. Focus this. Designs that seem logical in model appear counterintuitive in the actual experience of their users. You can consider this. If you can't figure it out, you can read the next line. The guardrails that will be familiar to anyone who has attempted to cross a British road, for example. You know the guardrails, like on the railway track, they put some fence that is called guardrails. So then they talk about guardrails, for example, where an engineering solution to pedestrian safety based on models that prioritize the smooth flow of traffic and all that. Now go back and see if you find any clue. If you still don't find anything, yeah, you can read on, yeah. It's actually number 5. I tell you why. In 5 they say why some measures intended to help people are being reversed. Measures are there to help people, but they are actually being reversed, means they are not giving the benefit. Now what do they say here? The guardrails that will be familiar to anyone who has attempted to cross the British road, for example, were an engineering solution to pedestrian safety based on models that prioritize the smooth flow of traffic. Read on. On wide major roads, they often guide pedestrians to specific crossing point and slow down their progress across the road by using staggered access points to divide the crossing into two, one for each carriageway. And then the next thing they say, in doing so, they make crossing feel longer, introducing psychological barriers greatly impacting those that are the least mobile and encouraging others to make dangerous crossing to get around the guardrails. Dangerous crossing means people ignore that, and they, like some people here, whenever the traffic is stopped at the railway crossing, what do people do? They pick up their bicycles or they go to other ways, and yeah, exactly. So it's just like that. So question 5 is why some measures intended to help people. Now what were the measures? Guardrails. They were the measures are being reversed. Being reversed is people are following the dangerous crossing and all that. Now what are we left with? Heading number 3. And how many paragraphs are left? 2. F and G. So we will try F first. Okay. I give you some time. Focus first line, middle couple of lines, last lines, and then tell me which heading is appropriate, which number is appropriate. Do it on your own. And keep the heading in mind. The heading is mention of an objective of both dance and engineering. For dance, they are using the word choreographers. Come to 5th line. Choreography may not seem an obvious choice. Are you there? Yes. 5th line. Choreography may not seem an obvious choice for tackling this problem, yet it shares with engineering the aim of designing pattern of movement within limitations of space. So, F will go with heading question number 3. Question number 3 is mention of an objective of both dance and engineering. And what is that? Choreography may not seem an obvious choice for tackling this problem, yet it shares with engineering the aim of designing patterns. Now choreography and engineering. And what is the aim? Aim of designing patterns of movement within limitations of space. All right, is this all clear? Now see that paragraph G is the last one, and there is no question there because we are already done with the questions. So whenever the question type is which paragraph contains the following information, if the questions are 5 to 6, then you should follow this way. If the questions are only 3 and the passage has 7, 8 paragraphs, then you should do it at the end. First you will do other questions, at the end you can come to that, and then you will use scanning method. What is scanning method? Read the question and then go back and search for that, right? That will help you. Okay. Okay guys, now we've got questions 7 to 13 academic reading. Complete the summary below. And by the way, how many summaries can you see? 2 summaries. So if there are 2 summaries, it means 2 parts of the passage where you will find all these answers. Choose one word only. Choose one word only from the passage. Now you've got to be extra careful. I don't want you to make your right answer wrong. How can you make your right answer wrong? When you choose the word from the passage, spelling should be the same as they have written in the passage. Number 1. Number 2, when it is one word only, do not add any extra word with that. Again, your answer is going to be wrong for that, right? So let's see. Guardrails. Now tell me, did you read anywhere about guardrails? Yes. Yeah, so you need to go there. Now you are familiar. I told you, when you do first 4 or 5 questions, even if it takes more time, don't be panicked that, oh my God, it's taken a lot of time and what will I do? The next questions, now you are familiar. Now passage is your friend, no? Now passage is your friend, so you can do it. Now just a second, let's read the question. Guardrails were introduced on British roads to improve the dash. Now don't tell me the answer unless I ask you. Go to the passage, paragraph, it's paragraph E, where they are talking about guardrail. And just got to see British roads to improve the dash of pedestrians. Okay, very simple. Dash of pedestrians means pedestrians. Come on, look for the answer. Improve the dash of pedestrians. Whenever they use of, answer usually comes before pedestrians or after pedestrians. So, safety of pedestrians. Exactly, you are right, but I wanted to check there as well, right? So, the answer is pedestrians. Paragraph E, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th line. Pedestrian safety. Pedestrian safety means safety of pedestrians. Okay, it's just like that. Now, we found one answer. We just need to go on and gradually we will find the other answers too. We've got question number 8. While ensuring that the movement of dash is not disrupted. Movement of something. Wait. Just read on. Movement of dash is not disrupted. Same line, same sentence. Don't tell me unless I ask you. For movement, they've used the word smooth flow. Wait. Bardasht. Okay, yeah, exactly. Because I want to take everyone with me. Same line, safety based on models that prioritize the smooth flow of traffic. Smooth flow of traffic means the movement is not disrupted. So the answer is traffic. Exactly, traffic is the answer. Movement of traffic is not disrupted. Okay, let's move on. Question number 9. Pedestrians are led to access points and encouraged to cross one dash at a time. Okay, one dash at a time means one for each. Don't tell me the answer unless I ask you. Just focus, one for each. One dash at a time, one for each. Good. Quiet, quiet, control yourselves. Huh? Your mask moves and I come to know it's you. Okay? So, carriageway. Encouraged to cross one carriageway at a time, and they use the word one for each carriageway. Crossing into two, one for each carriageway. Is that clear until now? Let's go on. Question number 10. An unintended effect is to create psychological difficulties in crossing the road, particularly for less dash people. Less dash people. It's going to be a trait of people. Less dash people. The answer is in the same paragraph. Move on. For less, they use the word least. Don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me. For less, they use the word least. Same paragraph where you found the answer of question number 9. Read on. After carriageway, in doing so, they make crossing feel longer, introducing psychological barriers, greatly impacting those that are the least mobile. Those means people. Least means less. So, actually, particularly for less mobile people means people who are least mobile. For people, they use the word those, and the answer is mobile. This mobile is not a mobile, that means moving actually. Alright, let's go on. Question number 11. Another result is that some people cross the road in a dash way. Same paragraph. Some people cross the road in a dash way. Focus the word cross or crossing, and don't tell me the answer unless I ask you. Another result is that some people cross the road in a dash way. For some people, they use the word others. Others to make dangerous crossing. What's the answer? Dangerous. Well done. Now see that some people cross the road in a dangerous way, and for that they have written and encouraging others. Others means some people to make dangerous crossing. To make dangerous crossing means cross the road in a dangerous way. Alright, let's go on. The guardrails separate dash and make it more difficult. Focus the word separate. Guardrails separate dash. Guardrail, same paragraph. For separate, they use the word divide. Don't tell me, just wait, okay? Divide. Separate and divide. So the guardrails separate or divide communities. Now, if you know the synonyms, you will find the answer, and even you will be surprised how I found the answer. And if you don't know, divide and separate, they are the same things. You'll be looking here and there. Then at the end you say, I can't manage my time. Huh? Exactly. Alright, let's go on. Last question. And make it more difficult to introduce forms of transport that are. Forms of transport that are. Answer will come with transport. Same paragraph. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I'll fine you 200, okay? If you tell me before I ask you. Same paragraph. After communities and decrease opportunities for healthy transport. So the question is introduce forms of transport that are healthy. And if you remember, I told you this that are phenomena before. Transport that are healthy means healthy transport. Food that is healthy means healthy food. So the answer is healthy. All right. So are you all healthy now? Your IELTS reading should be healthy as well. Okay. All right. Let's move on to second passage. Still you want to go to Canada, Australia, America, USA? Yes. So let's do the second passage as well. Right. Passage number 2. Should we try to bring extinct species back to life? See, what's the question? Should we try to bring extinct species? Now, what are extinct species? Dinosaur. How would you feel if dinosaurs come back to life? Like in Jurassic Park, they gave the theme of that. So, we understand This passage is all about a discussion whether we should try to bring extinct species back to life or not. Means all the extinct animals, and like we've got woolly mammoth, dinosaur, some other birds and all that. So should we bring them back or not? This is the passage, and we've got A, B, C, D, E, F. Let's go on. Page number 42. Questions 14 to 17. Reading passage 2 has 6 paragraphs, A to F. Which paragraph contains the following information? Now, how many questions? 4. And how many paragraphs? 6. So, it means 2 paragraphs are empty. You can use the same technique as we used before, but it's a good idea to consider other questions also. For example, questions 18 to 22, the Woolly Mammoth Revival Project, underline that. So, wherever you find information in the passage about Woolly Mammoth Revival Project, it's an animal that looks like elephant. Okay, extinct animal that looks like elephant. So, wherever you find this, you should underline it so that you could do that at the same time as well. After that, please come to questions 23 to 26. And you can see it's matching list of people. So, come to list of people: Ben Novick, Michael Archer, Beth Shapiro. Wherever you find these words, you must underline them as well, because we've got this matching question also. Now, let's go to paragraph A, right? So, we just go through it and we see if there is any question. I'm going to skim through it for you, please. Paragraph A. The passenger pigeon was a legendary species flying in vast numbers across North America. Now come to third line. They are explaining this passenger pigeon. Their migration was once one of nature's greatest spectacles. Is it that? Spectacles. Yeah, like we say. Sadly, the passenger pigeon's existence came to an end on 1st September 1914. Okay, and then they say the last living specimen died at Cincinnati Zoo. It's Kentucky. What do you call American state? Kentucky. Yeah, something like that. Zoo. And then they say geneticist Ben Novick. Now underline Ben Novick. Rather encircle Ben Novick, because we've got to solve some questions there. Okay. So, let's go back. And we've got the last things as well. Please, fifth last line. Basic premise involves using cloning technology to turn the DNA of extinct animals into a fertilized embryo, which is carried by the nearest relative. They talk about DNA and all that. Is that clear? Now, let's go to questions. Question number 14. Now, read the questions carefully. 14. A reference to how further disappearance of multiple species could be avoided. No, but just underline the things here. In one paragraph, they would say how we can avoid further extinction or disappearance of some species of animals or birds. It was off. Question number 15. Explanation of a way of reproducing an extinct animal using the DNA of only that species. Yes, because they mentioned reproduction using the DNA. So, for question number 15, what's the answer? A will be the right answer. 16. Reference to a habitat. Habitat is place of living. Reference to a habitat which has suffered following the extinction of a species. Extinction of that species and the habitat suffered a lot. Does this paragraph say anything about it? No. Question number 17. Mention of the exact point at which a particular species became extinct. Mention of the exact point at which a particular species became extinct. On 1st September 1914. Came to an end on 1st September 1914. What is that? Yeah, exactly. So that is question number 17. Mention of the exact point. What is exact point? That is exact date. Right? So 17 is A. Now we are left with two questions. 14 is reference to how further disappearance of a multiple species could be avoided, and 16 is reference to a habitat which has suffered. So please go through paragraph B quickly. I give you a minute for that. And you have to play very safe. Now many paragraphs will have no answer. And keep both questions in mind. Reference to how further disappearance of a multiple species could be avoided, and reference to a habitat which has suffered following the extinction of a species. Do we have any information? Yes or no? Yes. No, leave it. No, we don't have any information on this paragraph, right? I'll tell you why. Move on to paragraph C. Paragraph C. Paragraph C, and just look for reference to how further disappearance of multiple species could be avoided, and reference to a habitat which has suffered following the extinction of a species. Go through this paragraph, and by the way, you will find Beth Shapiro. Underline that. We have a question about him. Beth Shapiro. So, anything? Just we've got two questions. Now you're looking for both questions. 16 is reference to a habitat which has suffered following the extinction of a species. It doesn't go there. Now please come to paragraph D for doctor. And you will find a name also. Explains Novak. Found Novak? Encircle Novak. And read from third line carefully. When it comes to breeding, band-tailed pigeons scattered and make maybe 1 or 2 nests per hectare, whereas passenger pigeons were very social and would make 10,000 or more nests in 1 hectare. Since the disappearance of this key species, ecosystem in the eastern US have suffered as the lack of disturbance caused by thousands of passenger pigeons. It's not 14. 14 is reference to how further disappearance. It's 16, habitat, nests and habitat, place of living. Question number 16, reference to a habitat which has suffered following the extinction of a species. And what's that species? Passenger pigeon. Okay? Alright, now we are left with one question only. Question number 14. A reference to how further disappearance of a multiple species could be avoided. Please come to paragraph E. Skim it. Have you found woolly mammoth? You should underline that because we have questions about him. George Church. No, we don't need to read George Church. Okay. Now either paragraph E or paragraph F. Come to paragraph F. Read the first 2 lines and you will find the clue. While the prospect of bringing extinct animals back to life might capture imaginations, it is of course far easier to try to save an existing species which is merely threatened with extinction. And what's the question? A reference to how further disappearance of multiple species could be avoided. For question number 14, what's the answer? F. On your answer sheet now, you will write 14F, and remember these answers should be written exactly the same way. I mean, you cannot say answer is F, A, D, A and I write in any order. Not at all, not here. Okay, 14 F, 15 A, 16 D and 17 also A, right? Okay. Okay guys, questions 18 to 22. Complete the summary below. We have another summary here. Choose no more than 2 words. No more than 2 words means maximum 2 words and minimum 1 word. Exactly. The Woolly Mammoth Revival Project. Now tell me, where do we have this Woolly Mammoth? Paragraph E. So just you need to take a sigh of relief. All the answers will be there. Don't worry at all because the whole project is there. So answers will come in order, or even if they are not in order, they would be at one place. Let's read question number 18. Professor George Church, you read that already. Professor George Church, now read the question first, then go to the passage, okay? Don't try to go ahead of me. मैं question पढ़ रहा हूँ, आप answer ढूंढ रहे हैं. सर मैं आपसे ज़्यादा तेज़ हूँ, मैं बादाम खाता हूँ. Not like that, okay? मैं भी बादाम खाता हूँ. 7, yeah, every morning, 7 or 9. Not joking. Professor George Church and his team are trying to identify the dash which enabled mammoths to live in the tundra. Identify something which enabled mammoths to live in tundra. Now go back. Identify. For identify, they use the word pinpointing. And don't tell me the answer unless I ask you. Identify, pinpoint. Identify, pinpoint. Got it? 5th line. By pinpointing which genetic traits made it possible for mammoths to survive the icy climate of the tundra. Tundra is there in Russia. Clear? So the answer is genetic traits, and write genetic with G, not with J. Spelling must be correct. If you write wrong spelling, your answer will be wrong. Okay, there is only one question. Now you will come to the next one. According to Church, not the church building, the name of the person. According to Church, introducing Asian elephants to the tundra would involve certain physical adaptations to minimize dash. Focus the word minimize. Focus the word Asian elephants. To minimize dash. For minimize, they use the word reducing. Same paragraph, read on. If you find the answer, just look at me, look up. Minimize, reduce, or reducing. You need to read about Asian elephants. All for the purpose of reducing. Come on, same paragraph E. आगे चलें. Find the word reducing. मिला? ढूंढें. ऐसे नहीं जान छूटेगी. मिल गया? Reducing के बाद क्या लिखा हुआ है? Permanent level. ठीक है, परमानेंट लेवल आंसर होगा. सही हो गया? ठीक हो गया ना? परमानेंट के बाद क्या आएगा? लेवल. आप नहीं पहुंचे वहां पे. ठीक है, द आंसर इज रिड्यूसिंग हीट लॉस. हीट लॉस विल बी द आंसर. इनको बताएं कहां पे है? मिल गया ना? चलें, अच्छा हो गया. गुड. अच्छा जी, आगे चलते हैं. टू सर्वाइव इन द टुंड्रा, the species would need to have the mammoth-like features of thicker hair dash. Thicker hair के बाद है comma. Now it's a part of body. एक तो बाल हो गए, दूसरी क्या चीज है? वापस जाएं, ढूंढें. जहां पे हेयर मिलेगा ना, हेयर के साथ ही आंसर होगा. थिकर बताना नहीं है, जब पूछूंगा तब बताना है. 300 रुपया जुर्माना हो जाएगा. thicker hair, comma, dash of a reduced size. Reduced size का मतलब है small. आसान हो गया, ठीक है, स्मॉल। अब ये चीजें खुद से फोकस करेंगे तो जवाब मिल जाएंगे, वरना कहेंगे सर के साथ करते हैं, हो जाता है, खुद नहीं होता। रेड्यूस्ड साइज का क्या है जी? ईयर्स, छोटे छोटे कान, राइट। सो द आंसर इज गिवन देयर, लेकिन ये 19 से पहले आए, ठीक हो गया, ये भी ज़हन में रखना है। इट कैन बी जस्ट लाइक दैट, स्मॉलर ईयर्स, थिकर हेयर, समझ आ गई? तो आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी स्मॉलर ईयर्स होगा या सिर्फ ईयर्स होगा? ईयर्स विल बी द आंसर। थिकर हेयर, ईयर्स ऑफ अ रेड्यूस्ड साइज। अब स्मॉलर क्यों नहीं लिखेंगे? बिकॉज दे हैव ऑलरेडी मेंशन्ड रेड्यूस्ड साइज and more dash, go back, you will find this answer, and when I ask you then you will tell me. Smaller ears, thicker hair and extra, well done. See, 3 in 1. Extra insulating fat, and for extra they have used more. Now more and extra, they are synonyms. Okay, question number 22. Repopulating the tundra with mammoth of Asian elephant, mammoth hybrids would also have an impact on the environment, which could help to reduce temperatures and decrease. Temperature is the word. Reduce temperature and decrease something. Same paragraph. Decrease means reduce. Good. Found it? Decrease means reduce. Wait a second. Same paragraph, read on. Just you need to find it. Useful factor, reduce or reducing. Reducing means, yeah, so? Exactly. Carbon emissions, right? The answer is complete carbon emissions. Only carbon will be wrong. No, you can write even emissions. Emissions or carbon. Is it plural? Yes, it's plural. Carbon emissions is the right answer. Carbon is meant. No. I mean, no, listen, third last line. Useful factor in reducing carbon emissions. Got it? Yeah. So you can write carbon emissions as an answer, or you can write only emissions, plural. If you write emission singular, that may be wrong. Okay guys, now we do matching type of questions. How many names are there in list of people? There are 3 names. And how many questions? 4 questions. Now that means one name may be used twice, or there can be any name which will not be used. That is also possible. But usually they use all the names, but one name will be used twice. It can be any name. Okay. By the way, for this matching type of questions, you should keep in mind questions are not in passage order, but the names which are written, they are in passage order. In the passage, first of all, you will find Ben Novak. Now, can you see where Ben Novak is? Exactly, first paragraph, Ben Novak. Yeah, geneticist Ben Novak. Let's read about him. Let's read this together. Geneticist Ben Novak is lead researcher. Now you got to focus his statement, because you have to match the statement with the name. If they introduce him, if they tell you where he works, what he does and all that, just ignore that. Focus his statement. Whatever he says, and usually the statements are in inverted commas. Sometimes they are without inverted commas as well. When they say Ben says, Ben argues, anything like that. So let's move on. Researcher on ambitious project which now aims blah blah blah, and after that to bring the bird back to life through a process known as de-extinction. The basic premise involves using cloning technology to use the DNA of extinct animals, now focus this, into fertilized embryo which is carried by the nearest relatives still in existence. In this case, the abundant band-tailed pigeon before being born as a living, breathing animal, right? And then they say passenger pigeons are one of the pioneering species in this field and all that. Now basically they have mentioned geneticist Ben Novak is lead researcher, and then whatever they mentioned about DNA of extinct animal into a fertilized embryo and all that. Now go back and see if there is anything extinct animal, fertilized, abundant band-tailed pigeon and all that. If you find anything. Question number?
25.
Just try again. 23? Okay. You said 23? All right, let me tell you one thing. Listen now. There is no answer here. I tell you why. Because the word Ben Novak is also mentioned on page 41 in paragraph D. Okay. And one more thing. Let me tell you. They did not give any statement of Ben Novak. Did you notice one thing? There isn't any statement. Statement is Ben says, Ben argues, Ben finds out. Now come to paragraph D. Third line. Explains Novak. Now read before where there is a full stop. Okay. For us. Can you see inverted comma? For us. I'm reading from second line. Paragraph D. For us, the goal has always been replacing the extinct species with a suitable replacement, explains Novak. Again inverted commas. When it comes to breeding, band-tailed pigeons scatter and make maybe 1 or 2 nests and all that. Now please come to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th line. By thousands of passenger pigeons, wrecking trees and branches means there has been minimal need for regrowth. Now this is all his statement. Now go back and see if there is any question that matches with that. Focus the word trees and branches. Trees and branches, that means vegetation. Exactly. So question number 25. And what is that? A species brought back from extinction could have an impact, important beneficial impact on the vegetation. And what do they say here? They say ecosystem in the eastern US have suffered as the lack of disturbance caused by thousands of passenger pigeons wrecking trees and all that. So if they come back, it's got some impact. So question number 25, the answer is A. Is that clear? Now the second person is Michael Archer. Now you need to look for Michael Archer, B. Found Michael Archer? In paragraph B. Okay. Now please come to that. Now look here. They have written explains Michael Archer. Now look here. The statement comes before that. So you will find inverted commas before that. There is no, found it? Third line. Paragraph B, third line. There is no carnivore now in Tasmania that fills the niche which thylacines once occupied, explains Michael Archer of the University of South Wales. Read on. He points out, again Michael Archer, he points out that in the decades since the thylacine went extinct, there has been a spread in a dangerously debilitating facial tumor syndrome which threatens the existence of the Tasmanian devils. Syndrome, facial tumor syndrome. Now go back and see which heading, which statement. This syndrome, health syndrome, just see if there is anything like that. Facial syndrome. It is 23. 23 says reintroducing an extinct species to its original habitat could improve the health of a particular species living there. Now, health of a particular species living there, for that they use the word that syndrome and all that. So, for 23, the answer is Michael Archer. So, you will just write B. Is that clear? You are doing academic IELTS reading, okay? So, if it is not clear, I would advise you all to repeat this test when you go back. How to repeat the test? The answer to question number this is this. How? Focus, read again, read the question again, read the passage again, and then you will find. Now, the third one is Beth Shapiro. Did you find him anywhere? Okay, in paragraph C, Beth Shapiro. Now, let's read. Again, they have mentioned him in the middle, says Beth Shapiro, and then inverted comma closed. Let's read it from second line at the end. The idea, got it? The idea of de-extinction is that we can reverse this process, bringing species that no longer exist back to life, says Beth Shapiro. Now go back and see if there is any option. If you don't find any idea, then let's read on. Beth Shapiro of University of California Institute. I don't think that we can do this. I don't think so that we can do this. It is? 26 is our current efforts at preserving biodiversity are insufficient. That's right. It's 26. Let's see if there is any other option. There is no way to bring back something that is 100% identical to a species that went extinct a long time ago. All right. Do we find this word Beth Shapiro anywhere else in the passage? Where? In paragraph F? Yeah. Now let's come to that. Right? At times they do this as well. So explains Shapiro. Let's go back. Many of the technologies that people have in mind when they think about de-extinction can be used as a form of genetic rescue, explains Shapiro. She prefers to focus the debate on how this emerging technology could be used to fully understand. Now, does this match with any of the options? By the way, we are left with how many questions? One question. So, what is that? We are left with 24. We are done with 23 and 25 and 26. 24 is, it is important to concentrate on the causes of animal extinction. All right, come to last 2-3 lines, please. Same paragraph F, last 2-3 lines. I would also say there is an incredible moral hazard to not to do anything at all. She continues, we know that what we are doing today is not enough, and we have to be willing to take some calculated and measured risks. 24 is actually this. It is important to concentrate on the causes of animal extinction. And 26 is our current efforts at preserving biodiversity are insufficient. That is 26 actually. Both are? Almost the same, yeah. So, 24 and 26, the right answer is going to be C. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, now look here. all you need to do, if they mention one scientist at 2 points, you need to find those points. That is why it's a very good idea. In half a minute, you read ABC first. For example, Ben, Michael, Beth. Now in the passage find Ben, Michael, Beth. And by the way, they will not use the first name. They will use the last name. Novak, Archer, Shapiro. So you need to see wherever these names are written. And one more thing, you should have at least 2 to 3 different marks. One is underline. Now when it comes to the names of the writers, you can encircle or you can put brackets so that you could easily identify. So wherever the names are, number one, and with the names wherever there are inverted commas, you should go there, read those statements, and then you can match them here, right? That's going to take some time, but you need to do it. Okay guys, passage 3. Finally, academic reading, Academic reading is always like this. You cannot say this test is difficult. This test is as academic reading tests are, right? So don't expect this test is difficult. In actual exam, they don't do anything like that. It can be more tricky than this as well. Okay, having a laugh. This is the title, and the subtitle is Findings of a Psychological Scientists Reveal the Importance of Humor. So now we understand, having a laugh is the title, means laughter is the title. Findings of psychological scientists. Psychological scientists are the psychologists. Reveal the importance of humor. Why it is important to laugh. Thank God they don't have A, B, C, D. But we have multiple choice questions. So don't worry. I'll tell you, the good news about multiple choice questions is this: all the questions and the answers are in the same order. That's the good news, right? So let's do question number 27. When referring to laughter in the first paragraph, how sweet they are. He's already mentioned first paragraph, right? So it's a very good idea if they mention the paragraph, line number, sentence number, we can find it easily. Okay, when referring to laughter, and by the way, listen, in multiple choice, do not touch ABC. First, just read the question, find a clue word, go to the passage, find the answer to that question, then match that answer with ABC. Right? It's not that you read the question, you read ABC, you have already a confused mind. With confused mind, you go to the passage and then you'll be double confused and all that. So let's read the question, 27. When referring to laughter in the first paragraph, the writer emphasizes, go to first paragraph, writer emphasizes, focus the last 3 lines, let's read them together. Like other human emotions and expressions, are you there? Okay, third line from the middle. Like other human emotions and expressions, laughter and humor provide psychological scientists with rich resources for studying human psychology, ranging from the development of language to the neuroscience of social perception. Now match this sentence with one of the options. Now just a second, just go through all of it. Some options will cover only half of it and all that. You just need to focus. Like other human emotions and expressions, laughter and humor provide psychological scientists with rich resource for studying human psychology, ranging from the development of language to the neuroscience of social perception. Option A, its impact on language. You know, the first thing is you need to eliminate the wrong options. So option A is right. Wrong. Right. Wow, very good. Keep it right. Okay, impact on language. They did not talk about when he is referring to laughter, the first paragraph, the writer is not emphasizing on impact on language. Option B, function in human culture. There is no mention of that. B to K options should be out. C, its value to scientific research. Why? Exactly. They say of psychological scientists with rich resource for studying human psychology. A. It's actually C. Its value to scientific research. And D is its universality or universality. Now what is that word? Universality in animal societies. They didn't mention that as well. So two options should be eliminated in the first reading. When you read A, B, C, D, try to eliminate minimum two options and then you can decide which are the right ones. I give you another chance. Right? Yeah. Question number 28. What does the writer suggest? The question is, writer suggests about Charlie Douglas. Now go back and find Charlie Douglas. It is in the second paragraph. And whatever the writer suggests, you can just see that in the middle. Let's do it together. Have you found Charlie Douglas? Okay, I'm reading it from third line. Back in 1950, US sound engineer Charlie Douglas hated dealing with the unpredictable laughter of live audiences, so started recording his own laugh tracks. These were, now focus that, these were intended to help people at home feel like they were in a social situation such as a crowded theater. Now match this sentence with one of the four options. These were intended, laugh tracks were intended to help people at home feel like they were in a social situation such as a crowded place. Social situation, group setting. See that? Social situation where you are with a group of people. Okay, option D is he preferred shows where audiences were present in the recording studio. No, cross it. C, he wanted his shows to appeal to audience across the social spectrum. No. B, he believed that TV viewers at home needed to be told when to laugh. No. Option A, he understood the importance of enjoying humor in a group setting. Focus. These were intended to help people at home feel like they were in a social situation such as a crowded theater. That is actually group setting. Social situation, group setting. You know what that is? Have you ever seen in English, sometimes there are the comedy movies, comedy dramas, and there is a laughter of people. Ha 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 ha. Then they say something funny again, a group, that's at the background. So this is the guy, Charles Douglas, he actually created that. Charlie Douglas, yeah. Question number 29. What makes the Santa Cruz study particularly significant? Significant means important. Santa Cruz is the clue word. Go on, you will find Santa Cruz in third paragraph. Santa Cruz, what made Santa Cruz study particularly significant? Significant means important. Third paragraph. Santa Cruz is mentioned, team made up of this and that. Focus the last three lines. Participants were asked whether, got it? Yes, third last line. Participants were asked whether they thought the people laughing were friends or strangers. On average, the results were, now this is important. On average, the results were remarkably consistent worldwide. People's guesses were correct approximately 60% of the time. Now go back, go through A, B, C, D. When I ask you, then tell me the answer. 60% of the time. People's guesses were correct approximately 60% of the time. Option A, various different types of laughter that were studied. No. Option B, similar results produced by a wide range of cultures. Okay, yeah, wide range of cultures, that is approximately 60% of time. And then he said on average the results were remarkably consistent. Consistent means similar. Okay, consistent and similar. All right, question number 30. Which of the following happened in the San Diego study? San Diego is the clue word. Which of the following happened? Now you will focus on the thing that happened in San Diego study. Question number San Diego study is in fourth paragraph. Fourth paragraph and last 5-6 lines. You will find San Diego found, then there is explanation. Focus the last 3-4 lines. Laughter was recorded as each student took a turn at being teased by the others. You just need to focus what happened. Involving the use of mildly insulting nicknames, analysis revealed that as expected, now what happened? As expected, high status individuals, third last line I'm reading, high status individuals produced more dominant laughs and fewer submissive laughs relative to the low status individuals. Now focus this thing and go back to options and see where you match it. Laughter was recorded as each student took a turn at being teased by others. Took a turn means they change roles. Took a turn, like my role is this, then your role is, my role is your role is my role. Took a turn. So which option? Yeah. Option B is participants exchanged roles. Well done. Now 31. You have to repeat it all at home, I'm telling you. Just in a relaxed way, just read the question, go back, say, aha, okay, all right, acha, something like that, okay? Just do it. Question number 31. In the fifth paragraph, what did the result of the San Diego study suggest? Fifth paragraph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On page 45, a random group. And you should focus, what did the results of the San Diego study suggest? Focus third line. In line with predictions, laughers producing dominant laughs were perceived to be significantly higher in status than laughters producing submissive laughs. Now just go and see. Laughters producing dominant laughs were perceived to be significantly higher in status than laughers producing submissive laughs. Just a second. A, B, C, or D. Go through all the options carefully. Match the options with this sentence. Laughers producing dominant laughs were perceived to be significantly higher in status. They were higher in their status than laughers producing submissive laughs. So, D for doctor. Well done. High status individuals can always be identified by their way of laughing. Exactly. Okay. Still want to go to Canada? Yes. UK? Or Murid K? Alright. Okay guys, now we got the last questions 32 to 36 and then we've got the last one. That is, yes, no, not given. You know, like when you're doing 32 to 36 and you think they are the last questions and then suddenly you turn the page over, 4 more questions got to do. Anyways, the benefits of humor. Now, first of all, we need to find a portion in the passage where they talk about benefits of humor. Benefits of humor. All right. Let's see. If you don't find it, don't worry. We have the clue words here. In one study at Australian National University. The best clue. Yeah, let's see. 6 what? Paragraph 6? Okay, very good. Now let's read the question, please. In one study at Australian National University, randomly chosen groups of participants were shown one of 3 videos, each designed to generate a different kind of dash. Now they were shown one of 3 videos, each designed, each means each video was designed to generate a different kind of. Now look here, look here, look here. First of all, you will find a word in the passage that is supposed to be the answer. Then you will come to this box which is given at the bottom. You will find a synonym of that word, and then you will write A, B, C, D, E, F, G as an answer. Now let's go back. Let's locate the word. Please come to last 4 lines. Last 5 lines, 5th last line. First, the students performed a tedious task in which they had to cross out every instance of the letter E over 2 pages of text. The students then were randomly assigned to watch a video clip. Now read this carefully. To watch a video clip eliciting either humor, contentment or neutral feelings. Now focus this thing. Eliciting either humor, contentment or neutral feeling. Now find a word from A, B, C, D, E that expresses it very carefully. Exactly, it's F, emotion. Why? Because they have mentioned humor, contempt or neutral and then feelings. Right, so feelings and emotions. Now the answer is not emotion. If you write emotion as an answer, they will cross it. The answer is F, because this emotion is F. Okay, let's go on. When all participants were then given a deliberately frustrating task to do, it was found that those who had watched the dash video persisted with the task. Who had watched the dash video. Move on. Watch the dash video. It's the type of video. Come to next paragraph. Third last paragraph, third last line. Students who had watched the Mr. Bean video ended up spending significantly more time working on the task. Mr. Bean video. Now you need to find a synonym for Mr. Bean video. See, Mr. Bean has come in IELTS also. Mr. Bean video. Mr. Bean video is not laughter. No. Yes. Amusing. Those who had watched the dash video. Now listen, if you write laughter video, for example A, laughter video is not the right word in English. What else you said? What else you said? Enjoyment video. That doesn't rhyme, that doesn't go with that. So it's actually amusing video. You need to see grammatical and logical correctness of your answer as well. So the answer is H, amusing. Mr. Bean and amusing. And no other word is going to go on with that. Okay, let's go on. Question number 34. A second study. Now second study, and there is a separate summary. A second study in which participants were asked to perform a particularly dash task. Come back. Second last paragraph. Second study. Found it? Second study. Second last paragraph. First line. Ching and Wong then replicated these results in a second study during which they had participants complete long multiplication questions by hand. Now find a word for long multiplication questions by hand. Find a word for that. Long, exactly, long multiplication questions by hand. So that's not anxiety. Long multiplication questions by hand. That is boring. When you do long multiplication questions by hand, it becomes boring. You are multiplying and all that. So C is the right answer for that. And by the way, no other word will match with long multiplicating questions and all that. Okay, let's go on. Question number 35. Then they say, Chung and Lu Wong, these findings suggest that humor not only reduces. Now focus the word reduces. Go back and see. Last paragraph. Although humor has been found to help relieve stress. Stress. Find a word for stress. Anxiety. Mashallah, you are intelligent people, huh? Okay. So the answer will be anxiety, but you will write D for that. And helps build social connections, but it may also have a dash effect on the body and mind. Last paragraph, last line, Cheng and Wong conclude, we suggest that humor is not only enjoyable, but more importantly, energizing. Now look for something for energizing. Energizing. Energizing is not relaxing. It's stimulating. When something stimulates you, actually it energizes you. E is the right answer. All right. You wanted to do IELTS, huh? Thank God I don't have to do IELTS. But I'm doing it already every day. Okay. All the best. Huh? Thank you. Okay guys, we got the last 4 questions. Yes, no, not given. Right? And if the time is running out, only 1 minute left, and you know you can't complete it, then write all 4 answers as yes or as no. Because most of the answers are yes or no. So by the way, and don't leave it empty. Okay, just on your answer sheet, 37 to 40, because you've got only 1 minute left. In 1 minute, you can't solve it. So then just choose yes or no. And then ask yourself, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, no. Okay, then write it down there, right? So if you choose yes, by the way, out of 4, 1 answer is correct. If you choose no, out of 4, 2 answers will be correct. And if you choose not given, then 1 answer will be correct. But don't do this 37, not given. 38, yes. Don't do this, because these guesses will be wrong. All yes, all no's, or all not given. At least 1 to 2, damn sure you'll be getting the right answer. And this is only in case of emergency. It's not that in the beginning you say, sir ne kaha tha aise hi karna hai. Not like this, okay? It's only the last minute tip when time is running out and all that. And you know, this one score, 1 correct answer can make it 7 band, 6.5 and all that. Now, let's see. The difference between yes, no, not given and true, false, not given. Tusi apni khichdi paka rahe ho. Let's focus here, huh? Yeah. Yes, no, not given, or true, false, not given. The difference is, in true, false, not given, we have factual information. In yes, no, not given, it's written here. Please follow me. Test 2, questions 37 to 40. Do the following statements agree with the claims of the writer? So in yes, no, not given, we have the claims of the writer. And in true, false, not given, we have facts or factual information, right? Now let's see. Question number 37. Participants in the Santa Cruz study were more accurate at identifying the laughs of friends than those of strangers. You've read it already. Okay, so you know where the answer is. Go back to 3rd paragraph, please. 3rd paragraph. Participants is written in the 3rd last line. Participants were asked. Got it? Read it first and then tell me what is the answer. Participants were asked whether they thought the people laughing were friends or strangers. On average, the results were remarkably consistent and all that. So participants in the Santa Cruz study were more accurate at identifying the laughs of friends than those of strangers. Well done. Clapping, huh? It is not given. Why not given? They did not talk about accuracy. There is no mention of accuracy. And they say were more accurate at identifying. So more accuracy is not mentioned. That is why for 37 the answer is not given. And G. Question number 38. The researchers in the San Diego study were correct in their predictions regarding the behavior of the high status individuals. You read it already, exactly. Please come to fourth paragraph, San Diego studies. Fourth paragraph, first 3-4 lines. Researchers in San Diego study were correct in their predictions regarding the behavior. The first sentence, and that is what they expected, and the fourth sentence that tells. For example, researchers have also found that different types of laughter serve as codes to complex human social hierarchies. And then a team led by San Diego found that high status individuals had different laughs from low status individuals. So the researchers in the San Diego study were correct in their predictions regarding the behavior of the high status individuals. Yes, that's right.
Sir, but they mentioned the claims of the writer in reading passage 3.
In reading passage? The paragraph 3 or what?
Okay, sir, it is a passage.
Huh?
I was thinking that it
No, that's different. Okay, now let's come to question number 39, please. The participants in Australian National University, you know where that is. But first read the question. It's not go back and say it's here. Just read the question. Participants in the Australian National University study were given a fixed amount of time to complete the task focusing on employee profiles. Fixed amount. If amount of time was fixed, yes. If it was different for different people, no. Otherwise not given. Come to third last paragraph of the passage. Participants were allowed to quit the task at any point. Third last paragraph, third last line, participants were allowed to quit the task at any point. So were they given fixed amount of time? No. Fixed amount of time, and here they mentioned this thing that allowed to quit the task at any point. So any point means the time was not fixed. They could leave at any time. So the answer is no, exactly. Question number 40. Ching and Wong, you know these two people from China, yeah, you know them already. They were in the last paragraph. Ching and Wong's conclusions were in line with established notions regarding task performance. Their conclusions were in line with their established notions about task performance. Last paragraph. Focus second line. The traditional view of task performance implies that individuals should avoid things such as humor that may distract them from the accomplishment of task goals. Conclusions were in line with established notions regarding task performance. Don't look at me and guess whether if my eyes move like this, then it is yes. If to the left side, then it is no, and all that. Ching and Wong's conclusion were in line with established notions. Now see that although humor has been found to help relieve stress, that is what they believe. And then they mention and facilitate social relationship and all that. But at the end they say that may distract them from the accomplishment of task goals. So it is not in line with that. So the answer is no. Ho gaya khatam? Yeah, when you finish the test, close the book and throw it somewhere. Yeah, or hit the book at someone and that's gonna be fine. All right, thank you.